Welcome to the Local Marketing Source Weekly Update, brought to you by localmarketingsource.com.
This week's Local Marketing Update is brought to you by Scott Gallagher. Scott is the co-founder of Local Marketing Source and has become the recognized expert in providing online marketing services to local businesses. Follow Scott on Twitter at ScottGallagher5 and on Facebook.com/Scott P. Gallagher.
Hey, well, good afternoon, everyone. Scott Gallagher here with Local Marketing Source, bringing you our weekly local marketing industry update. Now, next week's LMS member call is going to be Wednesday, January 21st at 4 p.m. Eastern. And don't forget to subscribe to our podcast on iTunes as well as our YouTube channel. Well, this is going to be an interesting day. I'm sitting in a hotel room right now downtown Chicago, because last night I had the privilege of seeing my favorite high school band, or one of my favorite high school bands, and at a place called the House of Blues, and it was the Tragically Hip, and it was fantastic. And if anybody, if we have any Canadians on the line and know of the Tragically Hip, know that their concerts are, well, they're a stadium band up in Canada, and then down here there's no fans, unless you're a Canadian living in the U.S. pretty much. But it was a lot of fun. So I apologize if you tend to hear a little bit of my voice. All I can say is last night was a late night. I had a friend down from Canada, and there was a good group of us. We had a really, really good time. So, but in any event, I am here and chipper and ready to talk about this week's update and answer any questions that you guys might have at the end of the call. Today we're going to talk about Bing. And just some additional conversation from what we talked about last week in regards to call tracking numbers and how call tracking is and how it works in pay-per-click and whatnot. Next, we're going to talk about, well, a study that Bright Local has put out, and there's a variety of different neat statistics and whatnot. Some of the results that small and medium businesses are getting from internet and local internet marketing. I want to talk a little bit about some of your SEO plan for 2015, and I've got a gift for every LMS student. It's an unannounced gift. It's available already in the Facebook group. It's a 30-page document. It's a template that we use. That's a full step-by-step plan for a local internet marketing strategy for a local business. And so you can go ahead and download that. That's something that you can give and utilize in your sales process, or give it to a client prior to closing them to demonstrate what you will do to them. But it is a document that's intended to get in the hands of your clients. And finally, there's a new business on the block that you're going to get your name familiar with. That's called Zomato. And Zomato just purchased Urbanspoon here in the United States. Urbanspoon, as you know, is one of the largest local search engines, predominantly for restaurants. And Zomato is now entering into the United States. They've been around for quite some time, and this is something that we're seeing more and more of. Chinese companies, and in this case, this is an Indian-based company, relatively large. So we'll talk a little bit about that. All right, call tracking. As you know, it's something that I've wanted to be able to employ for quite some time. There are tools out there like CallRail that allows you to dynamically insert a phone number onto a web page based off the source. It will display a particular number and gives you a call tracking. In the paid channels, you can no longer put your phone number into your ads. You've got to utilize the internal tracking tools, again, that will dynamically change the number on the fly. Bing has now joined Google in regards to this, and this is probably not a trend that's going to go away, and it makes sense. Right now, AdWords is paid on the number of clicks it gets or the number of impressions that it shows. Well, 23 million small businesses in the United States, and the Google Display Network inevitably is a fantastic source to showcase your business to a targeted local market. Well, the search engines want to make money off of the number of phone calls that they're going to generate for you. At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. All right. I'm going to skip over the discussion of the SEO plan. Well, no, I'll talk about it. But as I mentioned, there's that gift that you can go and grab. Take that and take a look at it. Take a gander at it. It's color coded internally, where everything in red, or sorry, everything in black is descriptive. Everything that's in orange is the responsibility of the agency, and everything in purple is the responsibility of the client. And this will hold your client accountable for what they need to do and get information readily available to you so you can do your job. Now in there, and the step-by-step strategy, we pull the curtains back for our clients. We tell them exactly everything we're doing. I'm a firm believer in that. I'm a firm believer that all the content that we create is owned by the client. And we go to great efforts to try and organize all of that different content we create into a manageable form where the business owner fully understands, well, this is how many videos I have, and this is how many are on my YouTube channel, and these are all the different profile properties that exist, Google, Facebook, Yelp, Angie's List, and the hundreds of different sites that we acquire, and the usernames and passwords and what email address is attached to them. In addition to that, over the course of the year, there's also discussion in regards to a quarterly aspect and monthly aspects. And, monthly aspect is going to be a regular, 10 or 15 citations that you're acquiring per month. And, but in the bigger picture, on a quarterly aspect, you may put a lot of time and effort into writing a high quality article that is going to be published in the industry trade publications or published by the local chamber of commerce or the local newspapers. I've never been a fan of looking at search engine optimization as a science. The fact of the matter is most marketers out there, SEO experts, do look at SEO with a microscope and look at it in terms of a science, so they understand the number of links and what types of links and rate links. And remember the days of PageRank and PR. I myself look at SEO as an art, and all we're doing is digitizing effective marketing that has existed for decades, whether it's creating a press release that is some newsworthy information from a local business being published in the local newspaper. We don't use a lot of tools at our agency. We definitely use Bright Local. I use Bright Local in both the sales process and operations process. Analytical tools, so obviously Google Analytics, and but other than that, we don't get into some of the bigger tools that are the Moz tools that are out there, because there could be 10,000 different factors that a search engine looks at. And when you start to get anal about 2 or 3 different factors, it's very difficult to isolate that one particular factor to determine, hey, did this actually affect my results? It's darn near impossible. Now, Bright Local has just put out a study. As they do, they communicated with a couple thousand different local businesses last month to get an understanding of what is important for them, what works for them in terms of internet marketing. Now, most of these respondents, 95% of them were in North America. 90% of those were from the United States. Less than 10% were in Canada. But as we know, the difference between Canada and U.S. businesses tend to generally operate in the same fashion. Now, first off, just to take a look, in addition to that, these were businesses that were 1 to 50 employees in size. So a true small business. The definition of a small business actually is interesting. It's less than 500 employees by definition to be a small business. And I it's kind of mind blowing, but I guess there's a lot of big corporations that are out there. Now, how much money that they spend, the increase did significantly go up from 2013 to 2014. But the majority of businesses, only 16% spend more than $1,000 per month. 12% spend approximately $1,000 per month, and 68% spend less than $500 per month. Now that's significant. 68% spend less than $500 per month. 80% are spending less than $1,000 per month. So we're going after the 20% of companies that actually spend that kind of revenue. We're not a McDonald's shop where we want high volume. We enjoy low volume and higher margins. Now, there is a correlation between size as well and the size of the business in terms of employees. And you're looking at businesses that have anywhere from 5 to 20 employees to fit into that category. So really what Break Local has allowed us to do is further segment our target audience, just looking at the data. We can further define what a target audience is just by different parameters. This is stuff that you guys already know. Now, what I found interesting is the fluctuations of a business's marketing budget and how much of that budget is being spent on the internet. So I just gave you figures that are internet-based spends. And 34% of businesses, 1/3, have less than 10% of their marketing budget being spent on online channels today. 1/3 of businesses have less than 10% of their marketing budget to online channels. That blows me away. I mean, but that also spells a tremendous amount of opportunity. When we identify growth within that, 50% of businesses, half of the companies, allocate less than 1/3 of their marketing budget to online. Folks, it's arguable that most of these small businesses truly are going to get more customers from being found on organic search results than all of these mediums combined. And for us to be effective, to get #1 results, we do have to charge that $1,000 a month. It costs me, my variable spend on that is $500, $600, $700. That's not even covering my fixed costs in my company. Now, what is exciting, 29% spend more than 70% of their budget to online. So there's a group that get it, and there's a massive disconnect between this. On each end of the spectrum, there's a big group of businesses, very few that are in the middle, where very few companies are spending, let's say a 50-50 budget. It's either pretty much all offline or a majority of it is being spent online. Now, that also, in my opinion, spells opportunity. You'll find in this plan that you get, some of the things that we ask our clients to do is to make a commitment, for example, $100 a month, for example, commitment to a charitable organization. Our objective, you give that donation, you get listed on the site, and you get exposure. Try to look for EDU-based sites or government-based sites. And it does lend a lot of trust and authority. But that's an offline expense. Whether we're printing up our online acquisition review system cards or taking videos and putting video in print, brochure form or whatnot. So just like how organic does not replace paid channels, they don't cannibalize one another, they complement one another. I don't think that's any different for a marketing budget for a small business, that there has got to be a mix, and you can't have all your eggs in one or the other basket. But that's where the majority of businesses are. Another key finding was small businesses' intent and where they're going to spend money. And almost 40% said that they would look into almost doubling their internet marketing spend over the next 12 months. Only a small percent, 16%, have no plans to increase their budget. And a whopping 47% are completely unsure. So, I mean, those are some of the key findings that I was able to pull out of this report, and some of the interpretations that I get based off that data. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. If there's anything that you'd like to share, or any opinions that you may have in regards to some of that data. And then finally, as I'd mentioned, a company called Zomato. I'm not sure if there's any type of pronunciation of that other than Zomato. Just bought Urbanspoon in the United States. They're actually going to kill the Urbanspoon brand and build their Zomato brand. This will likely put them on par and an opportunity of what they offer to compete against a company like Google. They're already further ahead of, let's say, Facebook, and Zomato is going to be a head-to-head competitor, hands down, with Yelp. So yeah, it comes to the conclusion. That's everything. Just going over my notes here. I don't have anything else to add or of that nature. But I will take 30 seconds here and come back and open the floor to any questions that you guys might have today. Let's see, somebody's got something. I'll be right back.
Thanks for watching the Local Marketing Industry Update. We've got these things coming out every single week. So if you liked with what you heard, just click the button right above me right here to subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to get a little bit more, right over here, go check out localmarketingsource.com. We've got free reports that you can grab. You can even register for a free marketing course to get in and see the portal. Or just go ahead and follow us on some of the social channels. We'll be around. Until next time.